Blake Lively isn't just that charming star you've seen on red carpets or in lighthearted interviews. Beneath the bright smiles and flowing designer gowns, there's a side that leaves many viewers feeling uneasy, especially once they piece together all those controversial TV appearances. While Hollywood still loves to paint her as the flawless girl next door, plenty of interviews and fan reactions suggest a far more complicated reality, one that might surprise you. Let's begin with that infamous Guinness cake fiasco, which sparked an avalanche of online backlash. During a late-night show, Blake dropped a casual reference to Guinness cake and then acted stunned, almost offended, that nobody else in the room had ever heard of it. She rolled her eyes, sighed impatiently, and insisted it was this obvious, well-known dessert. Viewers were quick to call out her patronizing tone, with some even describing it as peasant-shaming. They found it bizarre how she seemed baffled that people weren't as cultured in her obscure culinary knowledge as she expected, but that was hardly a one-off. Whether she's enthusiastically showcasing some trendy recipe or rattling off a random lifestyle tip, Blake can appear so convinced of her own sophistication that she forgets there's a world of perspectives outside her bubble. For many, it sets off serious alarm bells about how she truly views other people. If her condescension on cooking shows wasn't enough, let's talk about her relationship with Leighton Meester back in their Gossip Girl days. Although they played best friends and frenemies on screen, the real-life dynamic wasn't as cozy. More than once, Blake made tactless jokes referring to Leighton's past, particularly about her co-star's difficult childhood. Leighton was literally born while her mother served time in prison. Fans have seen clips where Blake jokes about starting in a cage, which struck a nerve as blatantly insensitive given Leighton's personal history. The tension only grew when Blake tossed around phrases like pet monkeys while referring to her castmates, even patting Leighton on the shoulder at the end as though she were offering a half-hearted apology. All it did was fuel speculation that Blake went out of her way to embarrass her co-star. Judging by fan reactions, the public wasn't impressed. People dubbed her attitude snobby, hurtful, and unnecessary, especially because none of Blake's jabs seemed connected to any real punchline. If you think that awkward vibe was limited to the Gossip Girl set, let's fast forward to the press tour for A Simple Favor, starring Blake and Anna Kendrick. While both women are known for their witty banter, viewers couldn't help noticing how stiff things looked whenever they shared the stage. Anna, famous for not mincing words, tossed out a telling comment, "I met Blake, little did I know." Right after that, as Blake went in for a friendly gesture, Anna fired back with a deadpan, "Don't touch me." That might have been a joke if not for the real tension crackling in the air. Fans latched onto it and quickly pointed out that Anna seemed annoyed. Some even suspect that Anna has muted Blake's updates on social media due to the off-putting energy. Anna's directness in other interviews only reinforced the rumor that working with Blake might be more draining than delightful. After all, Anna's not the type to grin politely and hide her feelings if the vibe is off. Tensions aren't limited to co-stars, though. Blake also landed in hot water with entertainment reporters, particularly when she stayed silent during a viral pregnancy interview. A female journalist politely congratulated her on her little bump, but Blake essentially stared the woman down and ignored her. The reporter, embarrassed, later revealed that she had never been told to avoid mentioning the pregnancy. There was no instruction from Blake's team. In fact, Blake had openly discussed it on talk shows, so the journalist assumed it was fair game. The silence was excruciating. Blake offered no acknowledgement or apology. Fans were outraged that a female journalist received such treatment, especially from someone who often speaks about women empowering women. It felt like the height of irony. Blake had once criticized the media for focusing on a woman's fashion or personal life rather than her work, yet she effectively shut down a fellow woman for doing her job, without offering any rationale. For anyone unaware, It Ends With Us is a novel that deals with domestic violence and its haunting aftermath. It's a heavy subject that resonates deeply with survivors and readers around the world. Naturally, viewers anticipated sensitivity and empathy when Blake was cast in the film adaptation. Instead, what they got was an off-putting fixation on her outfits, her hair care brand, and the set's wallpaper. Clips circulated of Blake saying, "Wear your florals and head on in," as though she were promoting a lighthearted rom-com. Even during interviews that explored the book's sobering themes, she'd steer the conversation back to Lily Bloom's adorable floral shop or the film's interior design. Fans found it so tone-deaf that many questioned if she'd even read the novel or grasped the gravity of the storyline. At one point, asked about men's accountability within the narrative, she brushed it off, saying she didn't think about the men too much. To say that people were horrified is putting it mildly. Blake's apparent double standard between calling out male-focused fashion questions versus how she's treated female reporters or heavier topics has rubbed fans the wrong way. She once condemned reporters for always asking women about their clothes on the red carpet, demanding to know if men ever face the same shallow treatment. On its own, that statement might have been a valid critique of Hollywood's priorities, but weighed against the moment she humiliated a female journalist for innocently mentioning her pregnancy, it reeked of hypocrisy. It's not just that single incident. She's also been known to deliver lengthy, empty monologues when asked about serious matters, like DV or accountability, only to circle back to trivial points about costumes, hair products, or personal recipes. For many viewers, that's enough to label her activism and concerns about equality as little more than PR-friendly fluff. When you add up all these puzzling interviews, awkward on-set relationships, and tone-deaf responses, Blake Lively's polished public persona starts looking a bit shaky. Sure, she's known for her quick wit and glossy style, but these glimpses behind the scenes point to a star who might be less considerate than her image suggests. Maybe it's an off day here or there, or maybe these red flag moments paint the real picture. Whatever the truth, Blake Lively's public missteps remind us that Hollywood's golden reputations can hide messy realities. Is she just misunderstood, or have fans finally caught on to a pattern of inconsiderate behavior? Let's hear your take. Have these uncomfortable moments changed how you view her? And if you could ask Blake one question, knowing her answers tend to be long-winded, what would it be? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and keep uncovering the stories behind the sparkling celebrity veneer. If you're hungry for more real-life Hollywood confessions and controversies, hit subscribe and check out our next video. There's a lot more drama to explore.